Hello. Today again we will work a lesson where our king is still in the center. So why is so important to keep the king in the center? Let's check. First, black castle already, so he made a decision, and now we can maybe start with attack, but we need to be sure that we will be faster if we castle on the queen side. So what is important here? First, we have space advantage because our pawns are more in the center, so that means that we can be more active than our opponent. This is a good thing. Second, when we castle, we can play h4, h5, and immediately we will open position with that because his pawn on g6 is exposed to attack. We can exchange him with our pawn. We don't need to use Operation Blitzkrieg here. We can just exchange the pawns and still we will have something open. Maybe after that we need to open a little bit more position, but for now we don't need to use Operation Blitzkrieg because our opponent played g6. This is so held pawn structure for black, but if we castle on the queen side, yes, we can attack that pawn. So the right answer here is just to castle, and then we will play h4, h5. So we castle, and now we start this race. Who will attack first, or who will try to create some chance for attack here? And of course, we can expect from black that he will play the same what we want to do on the king side. He wants to attack where is the our king. So a5, sorry. h4 and then c6. He can't play b5 without c6, so that is why c6 first. But we can play h5. We don't need to waste the time for maybe rook from d to g1 and then g4. We can play immediately h5. If he takes that, we can have a couple of options here. Maybe e5 just to close that knight so he can't escape from h5 and then g4. Or if he takes with the pawn, then e5 and the pawn will fall, which is great for us because then his pawn structure is completely separate and it's easy for us to attack those pawns, especially on h7. This is something what will be our target in the future because he is really close to the enemy king, and if we capture him, of course we will open even more the king and we will threat maybe some checkmate or something like that. So for us it's important to open the king side. And now b5. Idea with b5 is to push his pawns further. He wants to open something on the queen side. Same thing what we are doing on the king side. So that is why this is a race, we can say. We must play bishop d3. This is only move. We can't go on b3 because of a4. And also a4 will be with tempo and we don't have where to put the bishop after that. So of course bishop d3, a4. Idea probably is b4 and then b3. But we can take. And we have something already open. So now we need to realize, because this is first stage of attack, we finish with that, so we open something. Still we don't have space advantage, we don't have pieces who is attacking the enemy king, so we need something there, we need more. Okay, we achieved something, but it's not enough. That is why next move is e5. We want to kick the knight from this place. This knight is so good defending piece. And of course, logical the idea should be to kick the knight, and also we are opening some space for our pieces in the future to put them next to the enemy king to attack, some space maybe. And if we exchange maybe this bishop, this would be nice for us because this bishop is probably good protecting piece. And also in some moment maybe we will sacrifice something. So we are just bringing more pieces on the king side, we are building position there, and with e5 we took a little bit more space. So knight e5 now, and of course we are not interested to trade that. We want to play knight e4 and to bring our knight more closer to the enemy king. Also this is kind of tempo move because the pawn on d6 is hanging. Then knight b4, strange move. I must admit that, strange move, knight b4. He didn't protect the pawn, but we don't need him. Like in the previous what I showed to you, sometimes you don't need to bother with material, go for bigger things here. Maybe we will take even more than one pawn, or maybe we will give checkmate. So now we have chance for something really important in this position, and that is we will exchange his bishop. So now we are provoking him to take with the bishop, and when he takes with the bishop, who will protect dark squares? No one. And that means that this is, strategically speaking, winning position for us because we have a dark square bishop and our opponent doesn't. Not only that he doesn't have dark square bishop, he's weak to the dark squares because the pawns on the king side are on light squares, so practically nobody can protect dark squares. If we are fast in attack, he can't bring his pieces and to cover that space, or to bring the rook on a7 and then to cover 7th rank. So we need to be fast after that. Bishop takes on f6, bishop takes on f6, and then he captured the pawn. This is so bad move here, because after bishop knight takes on a2, we can just move the king. Of course, this is tempo move for black, so we must move the king, and then after knight b4, take a pause, try to find winning combination. Everything will be forced. He can't defend the king anymore. Okay, so the move is rook takes on h7. We start Operation Blitzkrieg. This is perfect time for that. As you can see, if we follow the rules, we have plenty of pieces on the king side. We have space advantage, so we can be mobile with our pieces in attack on the king. So rook h7. He can't play anything else. I mean, he must take. If he doesn't, we will play rook h8, king f7, knight g5, checkmate. Maybe he can try something with taking here, but then I think we can play the other rook. We can involve the other rook in the game, and then still we are threatening rook h8, rook h7, checkmate. So practically there is no hope for him. And black just captured the rook. Then rook h1, check. Everything is forcing. King g8, and then again something what I already said say here, and that is rook h8, check, king f7, and checkmate in 1, knight g5. Again, thanks to our king, because we didn't move the king too early on some side, we didn't castle, we won the game. So how is important to, this is maybe small detail in chess, but it also could give you a victory if you know to recognize, to stay a little bit longer, not too much. Don't be that player that you are just following the rules and you are not pay attention about position. Everything depends on position, of course, but if your opponent is not doing anything in the center, that means that you can keep a little bit longer your king in the center and to see where he will go with his king, and do you have some chance for attack on that side. Sometimes he will castle on the king side, sometimes on the queen side, depends where is the king. You try to see, is there any chance for you to break through there, maybe to push your pawns, or depends of position, of course, you will see. And is there any chance for you? If you have some chance, then try to castle on different side and to attack his king. Okay, thank you for this. If you watch the whole lesson, and please subscribe, that is so important for me, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.